AITA for reporting my classmates for joking that I had pretty privilege?
Background: I'm F23, one of only a few female students in a male-dominated course. Furthermore, I am at a highly prestigious university and I haven't really gotten along with the guys on my course. They are all very competitive and I just don't really enjoy their company. Everything turns into a pissing contest, and they definitely take me less seriously because I'm a woman. I stopped interacting with them beyond the mere minimum, and choose to hang out with other people. Anyway, I did well in our recent exams. I topped 2 out of 4. Our professor congratulated me during class. I wouldn't have advertised this myself. Ever since then, my interactions with a specific group of male classmates have gotten weird. They're now outright rude and challenge me aggressively in class discussions.
We recently had some presentations and one of them chose to do theirs on, to put it simply, pretty privilege. They specifically pointed to 2 papers that suggested that pretty female students get overscored in assessments. The other guys in the group snickered and one even gave me a wink. Afterwards I heard them in the hallway joking that they had experience with that themselves. I've been seeing a PhD student within our department for a month. He has literally nothing to do with our course. Well, we ran into one of my course mates A together. The next day in class his friend B asked me if my boyfriend helped me with exams. He said this intentionally loudly and in front of the professor, who heard this. I replied that I don't have a boyfriend, cause he's not my BF, but then B pointed out that he had run into me with the PhD student, making a point to say his name. The professor knows him. I just replied that we're only friends.
They didn't let up. I heard that they discussed this thing in 2 more classes, in earshot of the professors. Both times they suggested I got help for my exams. I wasn't even seeing him then. I didn't confront them, but this has been causing me so much anxiety even without the exam accusations. I worked hard to get here and I don't want to be known among the faculty for my dating life. I raised this issue with my supervisor, without the intention of taking it any further, but I wanted her advice as a woman in academia. She convinced me to let her email their supervisors to remind them of proper conduct and describe their treatment of an unnamed female student. She didn't name me, but they figured it out. They confronted me after class and asked me why I would report their silly joke. Apparently, their supervisors are now very cold towards them and less interested in helping.
It's not a formal complaint, only their supervisors know, but one of them, C, said his supervisor writes the reports for his financial aid, scholarship, and it was my fault if he lost out on that. I now feel a bit embarrassed, and this was compounded by a friend telling me I took it to far cause C shouldn't lose out on his scholarship. So, Reddit AITA? NTA. I am an old woman and had no resources back when I was in college and experienced this same thing. But I am so glad you do. I would report them again. And again and again, until they keep their remarks and their interactions to themselves. You won't change their minds. But you might be able to make them shut up about it. That guy deserves to lose his financial aid. Do we want that kind of misogynist to profit from that attitude? Or even despite it? My dad said something once and he said it sadly and with obvious sarcasm, there's only one thing worse than an intelligent woman, and that's an intelligent woman who is also beautiful. Quote, he was trying to explain the attitude of my peers. Of course not all men feel this way. My dad didn't, and he comes from the World War II generation. But there are always men who do.
NTA. Tell them maybe people would be more motivated to help them if they smiled more.
NTA. Any retaliation should also be reported. They're angling for some big problems if they keep this up.
NTA. They know what they're doing because jokers like this have been doing it for years. Undermine your accomplishments, question your abilities, and then act shocked when you stand up for yourself. I'm happy, and somewhat surprised, that the faculty and administration is treating this as seriously as it deserves. Nolite te bastardes carborundorum. Silly jokes involve everyone having fun, but what they've been doing to you can easily be described as harassment. This is happening because of their actions. You've done nothing wrong. NTA. NTA. At all. Do not relent. They deserve worse. These are not jokes, this is harassment. They are so intimidated by you that they cannot cope. Do a presentation on white male privilege. They'd all lose their stupid little boy minds. Edit. Your friend sucks. Edit 2. In your presentation, you can add info about all of the many hidden figures, such as women, if the history of your field, and the work they did that men have taken credit for.
NTA, you are being harassed.
NTA. They are old enough to know that bullying is wrong. Good luck in your academic career.
NTA, and report the recent incident as well.
NTA. They're harassing you and other women just because they're pretty. NTA. If you are in the U.S., please report them to your school's Title IX office for sexual harassment. Harassing you on the basis of your gender and sex life is sexual harassment. You can find more info here. https www.knowyourix.org/ NTA. If misogynists want to be awarded scholarships, then they should be quieter, slightly smiling face. NTA. Good for you for standing up for yourself and all women, especially those in traditionally male fields. It's 2023 and their misogynistic attitudes should have died out a long time ago. You absolutely did the right thing. If that guy loses his scholarship, it's the consequences of his actions, not yours. You are a courageous young woman and you should be proud of yourself. NTA. And start speaking up and back when they make comments. Put them in their place. NTA. Iron is forged in fire and you did exactly what you should have done. Keep at this and those guys can kick rocks. They have realized the consequences of their actions. Harness your inner Elle Woods, my friend. Your supervisor made the right decision. Those are more than jokes that they were doing and they know that. They are upset because they are realizing what they do has real-world consequences, and if they think they get away with it now, it will carry over into their work lives where they will act like the world is against them when they are the horrible people. NTA. NTA. I'm a woman in a STEM career. I know what it's like to be the only woman in the room. Never ever let people minimize your accomplishments. The boys in this situation were doing just that, calling into question the integrity of your work and fairness of your grade. I hope their sponsors stay cold. I hope they regret making the choice to make their lives harder. You're NTA, and it wasn't a silly joke. It was repeated harassment and constant implications that you're not worthy of your grades and haven't earned your way to where you are. You don't deserve that, and it should have been reported. It's a shame those guys are so insecure and jealous of your accomplishments. But any consequences that befall them are well earned. NTA. If making a silly joke is enough to lose him his scholarship, then perhaps he should think about whether it's so silly after all. They know they're harassing you. They're expecting to get away with it. And they're really being dealt with very gently here. In a lot of places, that kind of behavior, especially with it being done in front of staff, would get them suspended from their studies pending an investigation. The guy who might lose his scholarship is trying to guilt trip you into changing your report, instead of thinking about what he did and the consequences to himself. If he can't manage to think what it does to you and your well-being, and amending his behavior accordingly. So he's indicating that he and his friends don't feel any responsibility for their actions. That being the case, you should feel no responsibility for the consequences of showing others how they are behaving. NTA. They're harassing you. Plain and simple. If they lose their financial aid, it's because of their own actions, not yours. You should be proud of yourself for standing up to their bullying. Edit. Damn you autocorrect.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. AmITheAsshole is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.